What's going on, guys? Asian Eyes White Dragon here. So welcome to part 2 of 3 in Staples of Yu-Gi-Oh! And this one is going to cover the spells. If you haven't seen part 1, go ahead and click on the annotation box and you can check out part 1. But this one's going to be covering spells, so let's go ahead and get started. So we got Monster Reborn, first off. The card's too good. Obviously, the card is relatively simple. There shouldn't be much explanation. However, I still do feel like if you're playing an anti-meta, or if you're playing, Gravekeepers with Necro Valley, or some other deck that happens to be using Necro Valley, Monster Reborn is just too good of a card not to be running. Like, I honestly feel that Monster Reborn is just so good that it doesn't matter if you're playing Necro Valley or D-Fissure. Things are going to go to the graveyard. XYZs obviously are still going to hit the grave just because of the detach ruling, but Monster Reborn just definitely deserves a spot, and yeah, I'm sure you guys know. And then next up, really simple card, Dark Hole, is pretty simple. I mean, there really shouldn't be an explanation for that. Just too simple, really. Heavy Storm, another card that really simple. I mean, there shouldn't be much explanation for that. And I do kind of apologize that there really isn't anything to explain with Heavy Storm. I don't ever think that pro setting heavy is really an option unless you're gonna get game next turn. You're like, okay, well, whatever, I'll set heavy because he's got 0 back row. Or I mean, even if he has back row, it's not like you'd be like, oh, activate heavy if that's the one card in your hand. Like maybe if you set one, sometimes in Yu-Gi-Oh! They just won't attack. It's if you have a back row. But I really don't think setting heavy is a very viable option. I mean, in high level. Yeah, I mean, under the circumstance and under maybe a bad hand, it's totally possible to pull it off. But yeah, don't really try to do it. Next card, Mind Control. Now this card, a really good card. Stealing people's monsters is always good, and just to use their effects too. I mean, maybe you steal a Dark Arm, you steal a Bryanak. Really good stuff. And Mind Control allows you to go into synchros, allows you to stop people's cards that are shutting you down. Like if someone has a Thunder King, which is the most relevant thing that I like to do, is just take their Thunder King, synchro up with it, XYZ with it, and just really nets the card advantage. And when people have Scrap Dragon out, oh, it's so good. Like you just take their Scrap Dragon, pop Scrap Dragon to pop another one. It's just the card advantage you're generating with this card is just too good, really. Yeah. Next card I want to talk about is Duality. Now, obviously this card is, I really still think that even if you're special summoning multiple times per turn, Duality is still very good just because you can set up for those plays. Because sometimes, first turn, you go like Thunder King, and then you're pretty much good. But obviously you want a Duality before, your Thunder King, because you can't Duality with Thunder King. Duality, I just feel like it's just really good card. I mean, if you do have the room, and even if you're running like a Synchro Crazy deck, this card is just still really relevant just because you can draw into the cards, or, set up for your next play that can make it even better. And sometimes you just don't have a play, like your play is just, okay, set like a Torrential, or, set up basically, and Duality really lets you do that. I mean, the only downside to Duality is, your opponent does know what you have. The special summoning thing isn't that, intense, but when your opponent knows you have a Dark Hole, or you added a Reborn or Heavy Storm, they're really not going to be setting as much. But that is the downside of Duality. And last card I want to talk about is just really simple, MST. I really feel like you should be usually running at least one. Again, depending on what deck you're running. This card, just really good trainable, really. When you have your opponent sets multiple cards, and then you set this, and then they go all MST. Maybe they didn't end phase MST, but it's just really good. Or they go Summon Breaker Pop, and you just chain it. It's just a really good card to chain, and it gets rid of a lot of things that shut down mechanics of decks, like Decree or Skill Drain. It's just really overall really good. But thanks for watching, guys, and this has been part 2 of 3, and if you want to go ahead and check out part 3, there'll be a annotation box that you can do that, or you can check out part 1. But thanks for watching, guys. Asian Eyes White Dragon, signing out.